We should be live now. We should be live. Are we live? Hey, we're live. We're live. Hi folks, Carlton from the Pharmacy Seeds Network. The Thursday night net is supposed to start here very shortly, in about a minute. That's run by K2JLV, Dave, who's the president of the Overlook Mountain Amateur Radio Club and a close friend of mine. And I imagine that the coronavirus and many other topics are going to come up tonight, but I just did a video on how to get your ham license. I thought I would give an opportunity for people to see the sort of community we have here and observe some of our conversation. So I'll just be kicking back. I probably will join the net myself and participate, but I'm not in charge of the show tonight. Dave's the net controller, and he's the guy facilitating all the communication between stations tonight. So I get to hang back in a rare instance and just enjoy that and chat with the streamers if you guys are around. And if you're not around, this will be recorded. It'll be saved for later. You can always watch it later on. Hope you find this interesting or informative. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe. And if you have any questions, I'll keep the chat stream up here. You can ask me any questions you want in there. And I'll actually be able to pay attention to them tonight. So that's kind of cool. Hello, I see somebody's in. This is so cool, I don't have to put all my focus on radio tonight. I'll get my display set up a little better here.
Good evening,
there we go.
K2JLV, net control for the OMARC Thursday night net. This net is offered to the amateur radio community each Thursday at 8 p.m. by the Overlook Mountain Amateur Radio Club, located in Ulster County, New York. My name is Dave. Join us each week to chime in on the night's topic or just to hang out. Be sure your radio is tuned to 146.805 Mhz with a negative shift to 600 kHz and a BL of 103.5 Hz.
No worries, Titan. Thanks for stopping in.
Break for any emergency or priority traffic.
KD2 IIN.
It sounds like people are just too excited to get in here tonight. I didn't even ask for check-ins yet. All right, I've got KC2UVP Mike, and I've got KD2IIN. CJ, any further check-ins, please go ahead and call now. D2QAK. Very well, I have KD2QAK. Good evening, Bob. Thanks for being part of the net. Any further check-ins, please go ahead and call now. KD2, how many checks?
Wow, this is so relaxing like this.
Alright, we've got KD2LHX in there. Good evening, Alan. Thanks for being part of the net. Any further check-ins, please go ahead and call now. KD2MQE.
Good lineup already.
The net recognizes KD2MQE. Good evening, David. Thank you for being part of this net. K2JLV, net control. Any further check-ins, please go ahead and call now. 2RWI. K9JPT.
I think that's like 7 stations already.
Alright, we had a double there, and I've got K2RWI, Ethan. Thank you very much. And I think it's K9JPT, John. Is that you, K9JPT?
Si, senor.
Roger. Alright, very good, I got you. Any further check-ins, please go ahead, call now. Alright, very good. Well, nothing further heard. We'll give another opportunity for check-ins in a few minutes. I wanted to start off tonight's net by talking about the earlier, well, sort of net that we had about the
I missed that.
Mid-Hudson Wellness Check-In that we're sort of feeling out here and seeing about getting started. For those of you who might not have heard it, the idea that the OMARC executives came up with, well, we didn't come up with it, but we've taken a suggestion from one of our members, is to create a time on the radio where hams can check in during situations, crises, big storms. Right now we're dealing with the coronavirus, and let each other know they're doing all right, say hello to each other, and additionally possibly ask for assistance. Say you're in a snowbound situation, you need help shoveling out your car, or you've run out of gas for your generator. Figure it's a good way for us to help each other and possibly help the community as we go forward. So I'm going to start that with the topic and see if anybody has any thoughts upon that, and we'll go from there. All right, I'm going to drop this and we'll start with the list.
WA2MJM/R is what the Morse code said there. That's our repeater call sign.
All right, first on the list, KC2UVP. Mike, you're up first from K2JLV, Net Control.
KC2UVP, resume. Strong back, weak mind. Available before I open a beer. Back to the net.
So noted, Mike. So noted. Next on the list, K2JLV. That's me. KD2IIN. Go ahead, CJ from K2JLV Net Control.
KD2IIN. Hi, Dave. Great to hear this discussion come up. I know I ran a short net the other night, and unfortunately I missed the net tonight. I don't know if I was wondering if you sent out an email on that. I guess I'll just post that question back to you. Other than that, as you know, I'm limited in funding and that sort of thing, but I'm certainly willing to help facilitate communications or orchestrate things in the background, and that's something I'm pretty good at and glad to help with. So with that, I'll just pose my question back to you. Did an email go out on that net, or did I just miss that, or what? KD2I and back to net.
All right, CJ, good questions, and yes. Two things we're going to be looking for. I guess this brings it up. We're going to need volunteers to do two things. One is we're going to need volunteers to run the check-in, we'll call it a net for now, every day. The proposed time is at 6:30 p.m. So that's definitely something you could do if you wanted to be available, maybe once or twice during the week until we get enough volunteers to run it completely. Not necessary to be able to, that you have to go out and take and be on the help side. We need both people. And no, I did not send out an email. We sort of got we got preempted on this one. I was waiting for some volunteers. Well, I was hoping some volunteers would show up so Alan could coordinate it, because Alan, KD2LHX, I want to make sure I get that right. Our vice president is going to be coordinating this. But let me drop and I'll explain why I ran it tonight.
Hey, Geeky, what's going on, dude?
AC2UQ Paul, and has been informally
Look, ma, no hands.
calling a somewhat net type thing around 8:30 in the morning every morning with the people going into work and whatnot, which has been really nice. And he mentioned this idea on the air, and that it would be happening at 6:30. So I basically decided, since it's been put out there that it was going to happen, we should try to run it and see what happens. So that's why there was no email about it. There was just the formal email asking for volunteers. Does that answer your questions?
In very elaborate detail. Thank you very much. And yeah, okay. I'm more than willing to help. Help run the net. A night or a couple of nights or whatever is needed. Yeah, I'll chip my 2 cents in on that, and I'll let you carry on down the list. KD2I and back to net.
All right, very good. Yeah, I got a little long-worded on that exchange. I'm sorry. Yeah.
Perfectly okay.
Paul sort of called us out, not on purpose, but did, and so I decided that we would just run it and see what happens. Next on the list, KD2QAK. Go ahead, Bob, from K2JLV Net Control. Thanks for being here.
82QAK. Well, I think it's a great opportunity for us to maybe get a little more organized and make use of the tremendous resource that we have available at our fingertips. You know, we can sit here and we can talk to each other up and down the Hudson Valley for many, many miles, and some people use their mobiles more than a base, and some people use both, and some people just base station. And
Some use an
we
HT.
can get our resources, and when I say resources in terms of people and their skills or their preferences, and we can catalog that so that if we have a need for a particular thing, such as running a mobile around, let's say, the Red Hook Rhinebeck section of Dutchess County here, and picking up things for people that need some support there. I think that is making a good use out of the resource we have. So I think this is something that the virus thing has brought on a need, and like you say, it'll help in all types of disaster situations. Not necessarily disaster situations, but let's put it this way, stressful situations. Back to you, Dave, KD2 QAK.
Comment?
All right, go ahead with the comment.
If you'd like, from here forward, I can make a list of anyone who posts resources, the resources they're willing to provide on the net, and that way we'll have a list started, at least if someone isn't doing that already. Enough said. Back to net control. KD2IIN.
All right, CJ. Very good. If you wouldn't mind writing it down, and we'll give it to Alan because he's going to coordinate, and we'll continue on that way. I'm sure Alan's writing it down as well. Never hurts to have two. And Alan's next. KD2LHX. Go ahead, Alan. K2JLV net control.
Yeah, this is KD2LHX. Yeah, the big thing is just having where the who's the hams, their ham identification, and where they live. Basically, that's where you link those two things up, and you're pretty much in the ballpark.
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely. For those who volunteer to be available to help facilitate other HEMS or other, filling the needs of the people that are in need, make sure that when you volunteer, you mention where you're located. Not that we can't figure it out using the FCC website, but definitely save us a step on that one. Anything further, Alan? Go ahead, K2JLD.
No, that's it. That's basically finding the place and location and who they are. So, and then when they sign on, if they don't sign on or somebody else is available or nearby, they can pick up the slack. So there's plenty of overlap.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly. And I don't anticipate this being heavily used as far as people needing things, at least not in this particular situation. But
Good practice, though.
I think the exercise is good to get us organized and able to handle something that's, I don't want to call it light disasters, but something that's like, as Bob said, stressful situations. Very good. Let's move along here to the next person on the list. That's KD2MQE. Go ahead, David. Any thoughts from K2JLV net control?
KD2MQE. First, can you just give me a quick signal report? I switched a couple of headphones around. I don't know if you can hear me.
Yeah, what's going on in Florida, Geeky?
You're a little bit light into the repeater, but given that you're running an HT from where you are, that's not terrible. And you're definitely readable.
Okay, thanks. So I agree with Bob QAK 100%. I think that was right on the money. And happy to be here and happy to participate. And I think it's good practice for us, however we want to define it. And,
Excellent, Joe.
David, did we lose you, or was that the end of your thought there? I just want to make sure we don't cut you short.
No, sorry, just to continue, I'll be writing in to you and Alan to volunteer. I tend to do net control when I first time, so you're convinced that I'd be willing to give it a try a couple of nights to get the ability to drive special networks. That's it, thank you.
This is K2JLV, net control for the OMARC Thursday.
Yeah, I heard they were closing beaches, Kiki.
All right, David, very good. Let's go ahead and move along here to Ethan, K2RWI. I forgot to take the D out when I read down your call sign, but then I remembered. Go ahead, Ethan, from K2JLV, net control.
2RWI, yeah, I knew that was going to be an issue when I changed my call sign. But yeah, if you guys need any assistance with afternoon or evening nets, I'm available. Don't know if being a member of the local club is required or not, because I'm not. But yeah, I'm available for that.
Very good, Ethan. Yeah, no, you don't have to be a member. Definitely not. Just a local ham. The long-term vision on this, or at least my thoughts on this, is that eventually this will hopefully become multi-club. I would like to make this
Network up.
started here and possibly get clubs in the surrounding area to participate as well. I'd like to work our way out from our little cocoon here in this part of the Hudson Valley. So my thought is we'll get it started here, see where it goes, and then go from there. At least that's what I've got in my vision. But it's up to the club, up to the people who want to volunteer. That's where we're after. Next on the list, K9JPT. Go ahead, John, from K2JLV Net Control.
Net Control, this is K9JPT. I think this idea that you have is a fabulous idea. In today's pandemic, we have a need for such a service to be looking out for one another. And I think that this is a real-time need that it's very well suited for right now. Just a few days ago, I was making a phone call to Washington, D.C. area, and for 2 hours, I'm only getting a tone. All circuits are busy. Please try your call again later. So, when the lines of communication go out, even in an event like this, we need to be able to have amateur radio operators ready to go when we need them. So this is a very good way of finding out about the operators that are out there, but perhaps even extending this idea of yours to our neighbors, so that we find out whether or not any neighbors know that we're amateur radio operators, and if they need help, we can quickly get help out to them as well. So I think you have an excellent idea. I think it should be applauded, and I look forward to learning more about your idea. This is K9JPT, back to Net Control.
Yeah, same here, Geeky. All I found was a loaf of bread. Everything else is wiped out.
Very good, John. Absolutely. Well, you took it where I was hoping somebody would. Absolutely. This can certainly be expanded beyond just ham radio involvement. We can definitly help our neighbors, and I think we need to help our neighbors. Now, I do want to say one thing before we go much further with this. We have no intention here of creating a supplement or an upscale or overtake of the actual governmental natural disaster response situation. If anything, if they call upon us, we would be in an auxiliary form. This is just something that we're going to do sort of informally for each other. We're not going to be emergency response. What we are is people helping people. I just want to make sure that's clear. We're not trying to upstage FEMA or anything like that. We're just working a local situation here. And with that, I'm going to give a chance for further check-ins. This is K2JLV Net Control. Any further check-ins, please go ahead and call now.
Radio silence. Crickets only.
All right, very good. Nothing further heard. Let's roll back to the top of the list. Go ahead there, Mike. KC2UVP from
Yeah, I'm glad I have
K2JLV Net
chicken
Control.
squeaky.
KC2UVP ID.
20 pounds of flour. You're set, man.
Ladies and gentlemen, I know there's a lady out there somewhere, but on that note, I had two cowboys in my yard about an hour and a half ago because I blew a firecracker.
Oh.
And they wanted to know if I blew my head off. And that was a neighbor calling. And you know what? We have to care about each other. And nobody knows what a sound
menu
is
just changed a
unless
little.
you're near the sound. And we are the sound. We are radio. We are.
Chris and I had a good conversation about the menu change the other day. Might not be what you want to eat.
Okay, Mike, very good. Well, I'm glad it was just a firecracker. I would say may not want to do that anymore, but that's up to you. All right, let's move on down the line here. KD2IN, go ahead, CJ from K2JLV Net Control.
Yeah, very good. Yeah, the firecrackers definitely bring people in. Yeah, I like your elaboration there about how this is sort of a community support kind of thing. In agriculture, we have CSAs, or community supported agriculture. You might look at this as community supported radio. Just my 2 cents, and I'll put it back to net. KD2IIN.
Yeah, absolutely, very good, very good. Actually, more like radio supported community, I would say.
Well, yeah.
But
I messed it
the
up.
sentiment is the same. We're here to help. At least that's what we're hoping. And we have skills that are somewhat different than other people's, so hopefully we can dovetail into a larger system. I would also like to say that per John's comment, K9JBT, this was not my idea. I did flesh it out a little bit, but this is something that one of our members came to us with.
Yeah, the supply lines are recovered.
And she had really an excellent idea. I'm not mentioning who she is right now, but if she wants to step up and take credit for this, I would definitely be more than willing to give it. Let's go ahead and move along to KD2QAK. Go ahead, Bob, from K2JLV Net Control.
You wouldn't snag some gator out of the back there, Biggie?
KD2QAK. Well, I just want to mention
I'd like to try
that
gator.
two of us in the Overlook Mountain Club, myself and K2GOG, Steve, are members of the Medical Reserve Corps. And I have been in contact with the leader there by email, and I saw him today momentarily.
My chickens just started laying. Good timing.
I kind of tickled his fancy about a year and a half ago to get more people involved in amateur radio, and he picked up the ball, and he's really carrying it. In fact, that's some of the driving force for the VE sessions that unfortunately have had to be canceled at the Dutchess County Emergency Response Center, but he is looking to develop it, and it's a little bit difficult, but he's got probably 8 or 10 amateur radio operators that he knows of, and if we work out this thing with our net, I think we can welcome those operators to make use of us, if it's just to relay information from base stations to mobiles, or any use that they might want to make from us. So I'm glad to see that our plans are starting to materialize here.
Try some gator tail. I've never tried it.
I will work with him and keep in contact, and definitely keep it in the frame of mind that you just gave, Dave, that we are here to assist them, and we're not trying to take over not trying to run away with anybody's sandbox or anything. So that's my comments on that. KD2QAK back to K2JLV Net Control.
This is K2JLV Net Control for the OMARC Thursday Night Net. All right, Bob, very good. Let's go ahead and make those contacts and suggestions. But if we're going to get involved with actual governmental or full-on organizations that are basically designed to manage these types of situations, I would like to get our RACES coordinator, areas and RACES coordinators involved in this. I don't want to step on people's toes, is what I'm saying. Right now we're just doing it sort of, ham-to-ham kind of deal. If we're going to get involved with official coordinators, I think we need to go through the proper channels. So what I'm going to do is, if this starts to get traction, I'm going to get our Ulster County Areas RACES coordinator involved and see if he wants to help out, take over this situation if it becomes that good. Like I said, it's all a matter of how many volunteers we're able to get and how much we're able to coordinate it. All right, I'm getting a little long-winded. Let me let this drop and then I'll move on the list. Alan, you're next. KD2LHX from K2JLV Net Control.
Yeah, this is KD2LHX. Yeah, that sounds really, really good. Us being sort of kind of like almost like the 78 Air Patrol, like the Coast Guard Auxiliary, is to get the people who are medical, is to put them too on where they are geographically. So if something does happen, and if this does get traction and it happens to pan out better than what we're expecting, that it could become like a backup or we have to have these people that they can fill this in.
Exactly. I think that is exactly where we're going with it, Alan. I think you and I are on the same page, and I like that. Yeah, let's get it. Let's see how it goes. And I don't want to say we're going to use this particular situation as a guinea pig, but it does happen to be what we're doing.
Chris.
But I think it's a good exercise for us and to see what we can put together. Moving along. Next on the list, KD2MQE, David from K2JLV Net Control.
He ate his brother. Good.
K2MQE, I need to pass. I'm dealing with something else right now, so back to that.
All right, David, no problem. I will skip you for this turn, and I'll throw your call out the next time around if you're available. I'll bring you back in. K2RWI, go ahead, Ethan, from K2JLV Net Control.
Alright, I pretty much heard anything, but what I said earlier still stands. If you need anything or any help over here, if that's running math equations or running TPs, extra hands, I'm around.
Alright, very good, Ethan. Well, if you want to drop us a line, I didn't mention this yet, volunteers can go ahead, as I said, Alan, our Vice President, is going to be coordinating this. So if you want to drop us an email at the OMARC club.org website, or you can send it to me directly at k2jlv@arrl.com or .net, and I will forward it along to Alan. Like we were talking about earlier, you don't necessarily have to be somebody who runs around. We are looking for people just to be here and man the radios. Just give the opportunity for people to, facilitate the check-in process. So, either way, it's good stuff. One last time here for K9JPT before I give an opportunity for more check-ins. Go ahead, John, from K2JLV Net Control.
Yeah, I think it's very good that you see a lot of enthusiasm now after 2 rounds of these calls that people are all for the idea. But I don't think you should worry about stepping on anybody's toes at this time, because right now this is only an idea, and it's an idea that has a little vision, but it's not something that has taken off. It's not even a startup right now. It's just an idea. So maybe it needs to still take some form, find out if it really turns into something, watch it grow, watch it, see how it operates and what it turns into. And I think probably as you start getting attention from people on the outside, you'll see that people want to collaborate with you, and unnecessarily that you're going to have to go doing the collaboration. So that's just my thoughts and 2 cents. K9JPT, back to net control.
All right, very good, John. Yeah, well, absolutely. I'm not saying we should curtail ourselves at this point, but I do want to, keep people in mind that there are official agencies that are, designed to deal with these disasters. So it's something that one of the FEMA ICS Incident Command System mottos is don't do things on your own. always wait for your
Yes.
superiors to tell you what to do.
Top-down infrastructure.
But we're not in FEMA, so we're going to go ahead and do things on our own a little bit. But I want to make sure that we don't step on the toes that might, at some day, really be able to avail themselves and take advantage of our abilities. So that's the reason I'm saying that. All right, let me give a chance for additional check-ins. This is K2JLV Net Control for the OMARC Thursday Night Net. Any further check-ins, please go ahead and call now.
JLV,
It's Stu.
Whiskey America number 2, Bravo Sierra Sierra. Good evening, Stu, Poughkeepsie.
Hello, Stu from K2JLV. How are you?
I'm doing good. It's still kicking around, and I haven't succumbed to the virus yet, and I hope I don't. I've survived at least, I know at least 2 others. One's the swine flu back in the time when the banks were failing, and the other one was about 6 years ago, which was the what was it? Ebola thing. So I've been through several major viruses. Over.
Absolutely, Stu, absolutely. Well, I'm glad you're doing well with this one. We're just rolling through the net here. Anything else before I move along?
Yeah, just so I mentioned that there's no Orange County in-person meeting tomorrow night. That has been canceled. Also, the tech class weekend thing that's scheduled for this weekend, Beacon Club, that's been canceled too. And as well as the Mount Beacon in-person meeting, which is Tuesday of next week. And hopefully these will be rescheduled. And I also found out that Orange County's Hamfest has been canceled too, as well as Dayton. So I studied, put out a few more things that have been canceled due to the virus. Over.
Oh, really, Chris?
Very good there, Stu. Thank you very much for the updates. I appreciate it. Excellent. We will appreciate you keeping on top of that stuff and bringing it to the net. Unfortunately, Overlook Mountain Amateur Radio Club, OMARC,
it's just not your thing. It's not your thing, right?
canceled their meeting, which would have been last night as well, as the place where we're holding it closed down for the month. So, things are closed down right now, but hopefully they'll be back up and running by next month. We can always hope. All right, I'm going to go ahead and let the topic float at this point. We don't have to continue with this Mid-Hudson wellness check-in that we were talking about earlier. If people have additional thoughts, they can go ahead. But I'll let anybody take the conversation wherever they'd like to go. First on the list is KC2 UVP. Go ahead, Mike, from K2JLV Net Control.
I know where I'm going. You're going to like this one,
Let me clear my throat. I hope you're not close enough to get that, but I'd like
wash it down with the beer.
To know, I got my guard up, and I've got my guard up, and I'd like
to thank Dave and Stu, I hear you in there. I'd like to thank everybody being part of the net. And if somebody wants to talk to me personally, it's KC2UVP, and I'm just monitoring. I'm just hanging out. KC2UVP clear, back to the net.
Oh, wow.
All right, Mike.
Wow, Geeky.
Let me understand for certain here. Are you saying that you're going to clear for the net, or do you want to continue on with the net as it goes along?
He calls clear
and you're just clearing for this particular round?
I'm just clearing for this round.
Okay.
You know, I hear a lot of very intricate conversation that needs to be seriously fine-combed and looked through. But everybody's great out here on the net. I'm just going to be on the quiet side. And if anybody wants to talk to KC2UVP, my radio runs.
Alrighty, Mike. We'll keep you in the rotation then. CJ, you're next. K2IIN. I'm sorry, my train of thought got derailed there for a second. Go ahead, CJ from K2JLV.
All right, very good. I have 3 different things I want to jump into. This is KD2I, and real quick, Mike, not to pick on you, KC2UVP, but when we say clear, it usually means we're clear of the radio. So when you say clear, you're confusing us net controllers because we think you're clearing from the net, when in fact you're just closing your last transmission. So just so we all understand the same terminology. On another note, KD2QAK mentioned that someone he knows is helping bring people into the hobby. I'm doing that as well. I've had several comments on my YouTube channels in regard to my live streams about how to go about getting licensed, and I just released a video on my channel today about how to go about that. It's unfortunate that the VE sessions are currently shut down for now, but I'm sure they will come back online in time. And I think that's a great topic of discussion also. So I'm glad to hear that others are doing the same, and I think we'll bring some more people into amateur radio, and they'll find out what a fun hobby it is and what an excellent community of people it brings together. All right, I wanted to see how KD2QAK met it with his Raspberry Pi, so that's the topic of discussion that I'll submit to the net, and then I'll just put back to net control. This is KD2IIN.
Alright, very good, CJ. Yeah, absolutely. That's one of the things that we're always trying to do here as hams, is try to get more people into the cult, right? Actually, it's funny that you mentioned that. My father's birthday is in 3 days, on the 22nd. He's living down in Florida now. He's a ham from many years ago, and fell out of it, and has since retired from his job that he was doing, and has gotten very bored, as I can tell because I see too many Facebook posts from him. Let's put it that way. Anyway, so I sent him down a radio for his birthday, and a ham radio licensing book. So hopefully there'll be another ham on the planet soon. All right, let's go ahead and move along to Bob, KD2QAK. I guess CJ threw the gauntlet down. How are you doing with your Raspberry Pi?
Through the gauntlet, yeah.
Okay, CJ, you gave me item number 3 for this go-around because I had 2 fingers up, now I had 3 fingers up. I can give you a quick answer on the Raspberry Pi. I haven't played with it much in the last week or 2 since this COVID thing came about. Just before that, I was able to load Chirp on it and did some programming and followed some YouTube videos and got a little bit more friendly with Raspberry Pi, and I was able to connect with my HT, which was the Asus 64, I think, or something like that. And that's the only thing that I can download from, to the HT with Chirp. My Macintosh and my old Dell computer, none of them seem to want to talk to DHT. But so anyway, I'm making a little bit of progress on that. That's point number one to answer CJ, and I'm going to drop a minute and I'll come back with the other two quickies.
Comment?
The comment.
A2RWI, you mind me asking what you're using the Raspberry Pi for? I know a lot of guys use it for all sorts of different stuff. I remember hearing someone said they used it to store iPhone photos once. So, what are you using it for?
iPhone photos, huh?
You came in
That's a
kind
thought.
of low. I didn't quite get your question.
I don't have an iPhone, but I know someone who does.
Sorry about that. Is
I have to
it
look into
signal
that.
better now?
Much better.
Sorry. What are you using the Raspberry Pi for?
I was playing around with it, trying to take pictures with it, using the camera connected to it, and I had a second one that I was just kind of breadboarding, just playing around to try to get different inputs and outputs. But now I've taken that one Raspberry Pi on the breadboard, and I'm able to communicate and with my ham radios and load the frequency programming into the radios. Back to you. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, it is. Thank you.
Okay. Point number two is, let's see. Point number two is, oh, yes. I want to say that K9JPT, I checked him out on QRZ, and he has a Hopewell Junction address, and if he's hitting the Overlook Mountain Tower from Hopewell Junction, he has an awesome signal out of there. I do want to also say that I was very surprised this morning when I could talk to Paul ACQQ on his morning net from the front steps of the Health Department, which is in the Poughkeepsie Journal building down by Civic Center Plaza.
Our repeater has excellent coverage.
I had a great copy through to Paul through the Overlook Mountain Tower. So that was an interesting thing. Point number three, I'll say, is on 20 meter using PSK 31. One day last week I contacted Argentina, and a little bit later in the afternoon I contacted Australia. So I gave myself an A+ for that day. Back to you, Dave, K2JLV. This is KD2QAK.
Alright, very good. I was getting a little bored over here.
I hear you, Chris.
Cool stuff. Excellent there, Bob. I'm glad you're making progress with the Raspberry Pi. I'm glad
the economics is the problem.
you were able to make a good contact from the steps down there in Poughkeepsie. That's awesome. That's right at the tower, so that's good stuff. And then, yeah, awesome about getting to Argentina and Australia. That's a long trip. So I guess that antenna does work. Very good. All right, let's move along. KD2LHX. Alan, you're next on the list from K2JLD.
K2LHX. Somebody else had said something about us being like an auxiliary ship, which I kind of commented. Yeah, that's basically what our ICR function is. It's not stepping on anybody else or doing something with FEMA directly. We're more or less, we like fill in the cracks over.
Yeah, exactly. Let them do the heavy lifting. We'll be here to help. Alrighty, very good. Is that all you need, Ellen, or you have any other comments before I move along?
Oh, that.
You got to give it a second to beep there and cut off Howdy's transmission. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. Keep going with this.
Alrighty, Alan, very good. Got those HF reflexes. I like it. KD2MQE, go ahead, David, from K2JLV, net control. The topic is floating, whatever you like.
Better antenna he's talking about.
Well, you're going to need a pretty good signal to be in net control, so yeah, very good. If you need help with that or need use of an antenna tuner, please let me know. I'm definitely willing to make the time.
Thank you. That's great. Back to that.
All right, David, very good. Let's go ahead and move down the list to K2RWI. Go ahead, Ethan, from K2JLB Net Control.
K2RWI, yeah, I don't have too much left to add, but I'm glad to be back on 2 meters recently. I've been doing a lot of HF stuff. So yeah, good to see everyone on the net tonight.
Absolutely, very good. And it's nice to have you back for a little bit. Hopefully we'll keep you around for a couple more weeks. Anyways, good to hear you out there. Let's go ahead. K9JPT, you're up from K2JLB Net Control.
Yeah, I'm the guy from Hopewell Junction, so I'm amazed too that I can hit your repeater way out there across the river, so it's really exciting. I also do some work with the Raspberry Pi. I use it for the nano spots I build, and I also have now a Raspberry Pi 3 running an iGate, which is rather interesting because now that I have this iGate up, my Kenwood THD74 has instantly come to life as far as APRS is concerned. It's really cool to send text messages to smartphones from my HT and then to get messages back from smartphone users and send email and stuff like that, which would obviously be very important in the scenario that you were talking today about the idea. So that's kind of all falls together. And there's not too many, data connections out there, so having iGate strategically located throughout the community is always a good thing. So if you're ever thinking about a Raspberry Pi, one of the best uses you can use it for is an iGate, in my opinion. People probably have seen on my QRZ page I created this ham radio card. I'm hoping to have it up and running in the few couple of weeks. But one product today that I was able to get up and running on our cloud services platform is a dog tag that I invented. So I'm excited now to do some beta testing with it and seeing how it goes, so that in short order gets the ham radio card going. This is K9JPT, passing back to net control.
Alrighty, John, very cool. We'll definitely have to go check that out. Sounds very interesting. Let's move down the list here. Last person on the list here is WA2BSS. Stu, you're next from K2JLV Net Control.
Hey, good evening again, everyone on the net. Now, people talking about Raspberry Pi. I don't have one yet, but one of the things, if I could looking for one, I'm looking for a computer data cable to go from my Kenwood my Windows XP Pro computer over to the Walkson HD, which Scotty let me have when I was in the rehab center here in Poughkeepsie about
I think you need Windows 7 too.
About 4 or 5 years ago when I fell 1 year on one side of my hip and the other side can be following or falling on both of them, not at once, but once a year for 2015 and 2016, somewhere around there, respectively. And looking for a computer data cable to go from the computer over to Walkson, so that I can. I've got the chirp program in my Windows XP Pro, and want to get restore the memory channels in that, so I can use that again. and just drops again. One of the things you're talking about the recruiting new people into the hobby. I check into SVN, which is sub-district.
Got kicked off? You got kicked off?
With the virus
My
thing
stream's still
going,
up?
what is it? The Wicker Club.
I heard it a lot of packets back before Pies 2,
Emergency
Geeky.
Communications Association. They had a online
Yeah, I heard that too,
live
Geeky.
feed meeting using
Are you back, Chris?
Zoom, and last night they had the guy who mentioned it also was using it for the class that they're starting, the general class code exam, not the exam but the question pool.
Looks like you're back. Okay, good.
One lesson each and every.
Sorry, I don't know why.
Next 9 weeks. Next 9 weeks after this one last night. And they also had that one online. And I was thinking, and I know that the Beacon Club, the Orange County Club, didn't do that, but I sent an email up to both Mark and Keith in addition to the Beacon roster thing. And lo and behold, the following evening, our Hudson Division Director sent me an email along to the others stating her approval of that.
That would make sense.
She has that program, and
they use massive bandwidth. Man.
I would like to see about that, as well as and maybe we can get some new people into the hobby. And one of the let me drop again. One of the things that I have thought of for recruiting tools for getting young people into the hobby, or even older people. Skywarn spotters. Let's see, what else? Oh, being able to talk to the space station. Let's see. Being able to talk to the world without having to use a phone or anything like that. And just general communications. And also for those who have some sort of either Asperger's syndrome, which I have, or autism. It has helped me quite a bit, and it really would be a wonderful recruiting tool to get some of these people who have
disabilities,
limitations,
for sure.
as it were.
Absolutely.
Get them interested in getting them into the hobby. That's my little thing there.
Can I get a slice of that lemon meringue pie there, Geeky?
K2JLB.
That was looking good, man. I'll trade you raspberry pie for lemon meringue.
This is K2JLD, Net Control for the OMARC Thursday Night Net. All right, Stu, thank you very much for that. I will check around, see if anybody has a programming cable for that Ocean. Question for you real quick on that Ocean. I think you're calling it a Waxen. The pronunciation is subjective. The HT there. Does that have the Kenwood-style 2-jack input on it? That's a 3.5 millimeter and a 2.5 millimeter, sort of like the old like the Baofangs do.
So I opened up the little rubber thing, and I felt inside, and yes, it does have that.
All right, very good. Well, if anybody has a spare one, you can let me know, and I'll let Stu know.
Not now.
Otherwise, Stu, they actually are fairly cheap on like things
That's
like
back in
eBay
the garden,
and stuff like
right?
that. You can pick them up for under $10. And I know for a fact because I have an Ocean and Baofangs, or at least I used to have an Ocean. They are the same. So if one will fit the Baofengs, like the UV 5R and the UVB5, UV82s, will fit the Ocean. Oh boy, the numbers are going to kill me here.
KG9 UV8D+.
I can't remember them. But as long as they have the same type of jack, they will work.
Comment KD2IN.
Play K2JLB. The model number on the walk-on is Kilo Golf Dash Uniform Victor India 1 Delta, I think it is.
India 1 Delta.
Alright, Stu, very good. Go ahead with the comments, CJ.
Alright, Stu, I don't know if we have an email address for you, but if we do, I can shoot you a link on how to set that up, the appropriate software for your operating system, what cable to get, how to use it, etc. Make sure you get the cable with the FTDI chip in it. This would be my 2 cents toward that. That's it, back to net. KD2I.
Okay, very good, CJ. That's a good point. The cheap cables do come with knockoff USB to serial port conversion chips in them, and can cause driver issues. So, Stu, if you do end up buying one, they're a little bit more expensive, but the chip you want that's in the cable is a Foxtrot Tango Delta India, FTDI. Not the one that takes the prolific PL2303, I think is the right number, because most of those are counterfeit and they don't work well.
Correct.
Yeah, let me give out my email address. I don't mind giving that out. It's my call sign @ARRL.net. That's my ARRL.net email address, which goes to my regular email address.
Alright, very good. So that's WA2BSS@ARRL.net. Alright, very good. Well, with that, I'll give, I think we're going to go ahead and give one last chance for check-ins, and then we'll go through the list one final time. This is K2JLV, net control for the OMARC Thursday Night Net. Anyone who would like to check in for the last chances, please go ahead. This is, this is the last time around. K2JLV, go ahead with any check-ins.
Kilo Charlie 2, Juliet, Quebec, Alpha. Name here is Steve. Here's K2BHM.
Alrighty, so I have KC2JQA. Steve, is that correct?
That is correct. In Rhinebeck.
Okay. Yeah, geeky.
Alright, very good, Steve. And I have K2BHM. Good evening, Jim. Thank you very much for being here.
Need the right one for these radios, though, or they don't work. There's a lot of cheap knockoffs.
KC2 UVP. Atlas had a less mantle.
Okay, Mike, very good. Alright, let me give Steve and Jim a chance real quick before we go through the list for the final time.
Get it.
Go ahead, Steve, KC2JQA. I believe this is the first time I've had you on the net. This is K2JLV Net Control. My first name is Dave, just so you know.
Hi, David. Kilo Charlie 2, Juliet, Quebec, Alpha. I had checked into this net probably a year or more ago, and
that voice is familiar.
haven't had much time to be active on ham radio. Now that I am
Adafruit, okay.
kind of practicing social distancing, being in the house, took out the radio, and glad to check in and get re-engaged with everyone with a hobby.
Alright, very good, Steve. Well, I'm glad you're back into it. We do this net every Thursday at 8 p.m. And we also have another net every Sunday at 9 p.m. on the same frequency. So definitely stop in, hang out. Love to have new people all the time.
I should share that link here too for those who are interested.
All right, very good. K2BHM, go ahead, Jim. I'll let you get in there before we run the last time through the list. From K2JLV Net Control.
Yeah, thanks, Dave. K2JLV, K2BHM.
Excellent description, Geeky.
Basically, making my presence known. It's been a crazy night. My wife's a nurse, so the phone has been ringing off the hook with questions from friends and family and so forth. And I've been trying to read the mail, but missing pretty much most of it. So I just wanted to say, I'm here and count me present, but missed most of it.
Read the mail and
All right,
amateur
Jim, I
radios,
fully
listening
understand.
to
All right, well,
conversations.
Definitely wish your wife the best of luck with the rest of it. Hopefully she gets some time to herself soon, rather than answering all the questions. I know that can be trying.
Overwhelming. Yeah.
All right, let's run the list one more time, and then we'll close up the net. This is K2JLV. We're moving back to the top with KC2UVP. Go ahead, Mike, for the final.
Hey, thanks, and I'd like to thank my Elmer out there about my etiquette. I will never clear out until I'm clearing out. And thank you, Dave, for your dedication and your heart, and everybody else that can hear my whatever it is, and I will throw you an email on the 6 o'clock net, and I'd like to thank everybody, 73s, to the whole bloody audience, beans for the audience. Thank you, KCTUVP. Now I'm clear.
Aha. Glad we straightened that out. That was confusing me.
Alrighty, Mike. Very good. You can always, if the etiquette is the etiquette, don't worry about it too much. It just gets confusing. Just say back to net when you're done on the other ones. But clear is fine for now. And thank you for being here tonight. You're always a character and fun to listen to. So, very good. And we'll catch you next time. KD2I, and this is K2JLV Net Control. You're up next from, go ahead, CJ.
All right, thanks, Dave. Really appreciate you running the net. Thanks to everyone else who joined and participated. I think we had some excellent conversation here, and I've been streaming this live on the internet here on my YouTube channel, and so hopefully people have a better perspective of what an awesome community the amateur radio community is, and hopefully that'll inspire more people to go out and get their licenses. Stu, WA2BSS, I sent you an email regarding that link on setting up your radio and drivers and cables and all that sort of stuff, so hope that helps you. If not, don't be afraid to shoot me another email, or you can always catch me on 805 here. That said, I'll put it back to net control. 7-3s, everyone have a great night. KD2I and back to net.
Alrighty, CJ, thank you very much for being out there tonight. Next on the list, KD2QAK. Go ahead, Bob, from K2JLV Net Control. Last chance around, so go ahead.
D2QAK. Well, I don't have a whole lot more to say tonight. I'm turning to a pumpkin, and so I'll give my last quack, and say 7-3 around the net, and I'm going to be gone. KD2QAK is clear with K2JLV. I'll get it straight yet.
They must be working you hard down at the Emergency Management Center. Thanks for being here, Bob. Get some sleep. We'll talk to you again soon. Next on the list, LHX. Go ahead, Alan, for the last chance, or last time around.
Excuse me.
Oh, yes, this is KD2LHX. I forgot to even tell you that I guess I'll be joining you for Summer Field Day. The American Legion, for the first time since 1938, they canceled the boys' state class. 1,100 kids aren't going to be showing up in Morrisville this summer, so I guess I'm free for the field day. Over.
Cool. For those who don't know, field day is cooperation. I'll talk about it in a minute when the net is done.
Enough for the kids. They wanted to really go.
Fact.
Oh yeah, well, absolutely not good for them, but good for OMARC, I guess. Well, hopefully we'll see. They might straighten it out and reinstate it. Who knows? But if they don't, we'll be happy to have you there at field day, of course.
Roger that.
All right, let's go ahead and move along. KD2 MQE, go ahead, David, for the last round. This is K2JLV Net Control.
KD2 MQE.
More on field day.
It's a great conversation. Just one quick thing. I noticed all these people who are working from home and learning how to use the internet to
Guys hear that okay?
learn etiquette, to how to talk to each other all day long, watching their house. But we seem to already know how to do that. It's pretty cool. Anyway, last word. Thanks, 73, you guys. Talk to you back next.
All right, David, thank you very much for being here, and we'll catch you again soon. K2RWI, you're next on the list. Ethan from K2JLV Net Control for the last round.
2RWI, yeah, not much to say what I said last time. Just gonna pretty much reiterate that. But yeah, thanks again, guys. Nets are always a pleasure. And 73, stay safe.
All right, Ethan, thank you for being here. I hope you have a good rest of the night and a good day tomorrow. K9JPT, you're next on the last round here. John from K2JLV Net Control.
Yeah, it was great to be able to talk to everybody tonight and to hear a lot of the interesting ideas that are going on. Hopefully they, with community support, they become something a little bit more than just an idea. So looking forward to seeing how they prosper later on. If anybody else, though, is interested in this ham card after looking at my QRZ page, feel free to shoot me an email because I'll probably have to do some beta, so it'd always be interesting to have some actual ham radio operators beta testing what I'm trying to do. Other than that, good night. Take care, 73, K9JPT clear.
Alrighty, John, very cool. We'll definitely check that out. Thanks for being here. WA2BSS, Stu, you're next on the list for the last round. K2JLV Net Control.
Thank you so much for letting me in here, and we'll catch everyone next Thursday. And it's nice to hear QAK in there, and we'll talk to everyone next week. And by the way, the repeater is coming in very nicely now, this QTH, and no problem copying it. That's all I've got, and hope everyone has a good week, and we'll get through this coronavirus fiasco, but whatever it is. Worldwide pandemic. Thanks again. K2JLB.
I'll share this.
WA2BSS back to net.
There you go. Sorry about that.
Alrighty, Stu, thank you for being here. Always good to hear you, and I'm glad you're doing well. Next, sort of new guy. KC2JQA. Steve, not new, but been a while. Your last chance on the rounds here from K2JLV Net Control.
Thanks for running the net this evening, and I look forward to checking in with everybody next week on the net, and I'll be monitoring and perhaps have some conversations on the side, and wishing everyone continued good health. Take care of yourself, your families, and your neighbors. Back to net. Thanks, everyone. Have a good night.
Very good, Steve, and thank you for the wishes. Back at you, and hope you have a good rest of the night as well. Definitely, we'll be here every week, and of course, in between, definitely check, throughout your call. We'll be here sometimes. K2BHM, you're last on the list and last for the net. Your final, please, from K2JLV Net Control.
Yeah, okay. One was thinking about and was just going to email you about the pop-up nets. They're an interesting little scenario that's come up. They're not. We have the Sunday night and the Thursday night nets. They're not interfering with that. They just come out of the woodwork. It's an incentive for people to keep track of their email and monitor 805 and so forth, looking for something that comes up. There's a lot of pertinent information. It's all good. I think it's a very positive thing.
Yeah, absolutely. I just, I think it would be good to have a little bit of prior knowledge, at least for the execs running the club, to know that that's going to happen, just in case there's something else planned that is not not widely known. So as long as we keep in touch with each other, I think it's a great idea.
Yeah, but basically, to get back to basics, CJ and Paul have run these nets, and they ask ahead of time if anybody's using it or whatever, and
good amateur practice.
they're willing to
comes back to
move it or whatever. It's basically
don't cause any interference.
pop up, and if somebody else has used it, fine, whatever.
Yeah, absolutely. I just want to make sure there's courtesy involved, that's all. I think it's a really good idea, and I think it's fun. People, I'm sure, will enjoy just, things that pop up out of the woodwork from nowhere, so to speak. So I think it's a great idea, just as long as we make sure we maintain that. So, very good. Thanks for being here tonight. I appreciate it, and we'll talk again soon. With that, I'm going to drop the carrier, and then I'm going to talk about the nets and close this net. Dropping carrier.
KC2 UVP, calling Stu. KC2 UVP, Stu.
The net's not over.
If we can interrupt here.
I think he switched off there, Mike. Do you have something pressing, or can I finish up the net real quick?
Sorry, I don't know the etiquette, and just finished up the net. I didn't know the protocol. I was trying to talk to Stu. I'll be on his side.
No big deal there, Mike. Just give me a second to finish out the net, then you can go ahead and use the repeater as you see fit. Within FCC regulations, of course. All right. I'd like to invite everyone to participate in the two nets that appear weekly on this frequency. Each Sunday at 9 p.m., CJ, KD2IN, hosts the All Things Natural Net. It's an excellent discussion of organic farming and gardening, natural health topics, and basically whatever else comes up. Definitely worth checking out. That's each Sunday at 9 p.m. Also, the OMARC Thursday Night Net, which is this net, takes place each Thursday at 8 p.m. This net is a time when hams can get together and talk about a wide range of topics. Starter topic may be suggested by the net control, but not every week. So bring your projects and ideas and questions, and we will be here to help Thursdays at 8 p.m. That would be, every Thursday at 8 p.m. Unless something goes wrong. Anyways, I'm going to close the net here, and then we'll be back to regular amateur use, so stand by. At this time, the OMARC Thursday Night Net returns this frequency to regular amateur use. This has been a session of the OMARC Thursday Night Net, which is sponsored by the Overlook Mountain Amateur Radio Club, located in Ulster County, New York. Please visit our website at www.omarclub.org. That's whiskey.Oscar Mike Alpha Romeo Charlie Lima Uniform Bravo .Oscar Romeo Golf. And if anybody caught that, you are faster with phonetics than I am. Thank you for all who participated. This is K2JLB 673, and inviting you all to join us again next week. This net is now
Copy
closed.
paste isn't working
The
great
frequency
tonight.
is back to regular amateur use.
Try that again.
KT2LHX, clearing the net.
There you go. Alright, that was the Amateur Radio Net. I mentioned I would talk a little bit about Field Day. I put up a short video on Field Day, on our winter Field Day that we hosted this year down at the Ferncliff Forest. And we also do a summer Field Day in the end of June, usually around the 25th of June in that area. And that field day, both those field days are aimed at emergency preparedness and also an opportunity for our amateur radio club and our members to get together. Those field days are basically like radio contests where we try to make as many contacts as we can. There are different points for different types of contacts, whether or not you're running on solar power, generator power, remote locations at your home station, mobile, portable. There's all sorts of like parameters that go with that, but suffice to say, different bands, different modes of operation, and different power situations affect your points. And it's kind of a contest as a fun way to facilitate good communication and good amateur practice, and it helps us drill and be prepared for emergency situations, so that in the event of a natural disaster or any other disaster, we're able to take our radio gear and set up in any location and keep communication up when other normal communication methods are down. So you should look around in your area and check out Field Day if you get a chance. Actually, I don't know if they posted a Field Day date for 2020. Yeah, it looks like it's going to be June 27th and 28th this year. So you should check that out. You can visit the link that I put there on 2020 ARRL Field Day, and you can find out more information about that there. Does anyone who's watching the live stream, I know there's not a lot of people in the live stream here, but thank you for those of you who did come and support it. Is there anyone in the live stream who wants to ask questions about anything, or anything else you want me to talk about? I'm happy to elaborate on anything you're interested in. Yes, the wonderful sound of crickets again. Are these keyboard crickets because of the chat? I don't know. It's probably a bad joke. It happens. Thanks, Kiki. I appreciate it. Yeah, it's a really good community. We have some really awesome people in our club and around here, and very supportive of each other, and more than willing to go out of their way to help others within our community, even if they're not amateur radio operators or don't have anything to do with amateur radio. A lot of good-hearted people that really like to give their time and energy and help others. Chirp, chirp! Very good joke, Kiki. Are you familiar with the Chirp software? You probably are, given your extensive background in electronics. If not, I guess I could go into that. It was mentioned earlier in the stream. Chirp is a means of programming a radio through your computer, so you can set up like frequency and offset and all the information you need to set up to connect to a repeater like we do here. Like for example, we use the OMARC 146.805 repeater. That's 146.805 megahertz. And to get into that repeater, you need what's called a PL tone, or a private line tone, also known as CTCSS, continuous tone coded squelching system, I think that stands for. So our tone to get into our repeater is 103.5, and the repeater also uses an offset so that you're not transmitting over top of what the repeater is transmitting. So we go in on one frequency and out on another, and that offset is about 600 kilohertz. So you need to know those parameters in order to get into a repeater. So what you can do is plug your radio, well, most of the modern day radios now, I'll say, it didn't used to be like this, but now with the new technology we have out, most of the radios can be plugged into a data programming cable, and so you can take, I think most radios will handle like up to 99 frequencies, so you can take and load 99 frequencies on your radio and go. I don't have a programming cable for the mobile. I have the mobile radio I have in my car at the moment, or else I would have programmed all the radios between here and Buffalo when I'm out to pick my son Jeremy up. And that would have been really handy. I did a lot of fiddling around and tuning around, trying to compensate for that. 70 some miles an hour going down the thruway. It's kind of a pain. I wish I had gotten it programmed before I went, but there just wasn't time, and I didn't have a cable for it. But Chirp is for that. You can get it for Linux, you can get it for Windows. I don't think they have it for Mac. Sorry, Mac users, you paid a premium. Anyway, pretty handy piece of software, and a great way to program, especially your handheld radio, which is also known as HT, which is short for handy talkie. I hope I've elaborated enough on what a lot of these terms are. We use a lot of acronyms and abbreviations in this hobby, and if you're new to the hobby, it might be confusing, so I hope I've covered it. I know I did cover APRS. In fact, I should go a little more into that as well. APRS is short for Automatic Packet Reporting System, and basically what we do with that is we pair something like a 2 meter or 440 70 centimeter radio with a GPS receiver and what's called a TNC, or Terminal Node Controller. And a TNC, or Terminal Node Controller, is effectively a modem for radio. Very low bit rates, usually runs around 1200 baud, so it's really slow compared to the bandwidth that we're used to today. This is back to that pipeline thing again, Chris. Very small pipeline. It's like a straw compared to the internet, with just more like, it would be hard to even fathom what the internet is in comparison to that, but it's, it's massively different. Anyway, so it pairs that, so it reports location data back through what's called APRS.FI. It goes back through what's called gateways, and basically amateur radio operators around various locations have gateways and digipeaters both set up. Gateways are ways for that data to get back into the internet, and you can go to a website like this, which is APRS.FI. I'll drop a link in the chat here. And you can look up stations where they're actually at. Oh, come on with it. I am not getting my code to copy here. Let me try this again. Sorry for the double bad links multiple times. There we go. You can go to a website like this, APRS.FI, and you can look up where stations are at. You can look up some of our APRS stations report weather data, so you can look up local weather data, and you can see where other hams are at. And actually, through what's called a digipeater, which is basically a repeater like this, only that it stays on one frequency and it captures data packets from other stations and then retransmits those data packets so that they can be relayed over much greater distances. And so you can actually, through a digipeater, you can send email, you can send data, you can send weather information and location information. And then there are new technologies out now that go even further than that, stuff like D-Star, that actually right built into the radio is a TNC, and there's a data feed in there, and you can actually, I think you can flip either between, I think it's like somewhere between 3 and 5 stations, as long as you're within range of each other. You could send a message to another station who would be out of your range normally, but through the digipeaters on board the radios, you could send them a text message back and forth. So it's an excellent alternative means of communication. And there are many other flexible pieces of amateur radio like that now, especially as technology evolves. There's something new out called DMR now. I think it's Digital Media Radio or something like that. I forget what the acronym stands for. But it's a combination of using the internet as a backbone and radio with a digital signal. And you can actually tie in to that. So that's a whole nother thing. And actually, my friend Dave, K2GLV, who is just a net controller here on the net, has a DMR radio, and I want to get together with him at some point and do a video on that. And so does another guy, K2GOG, Steve, also does that, and he also does satellite radio, and I believe he's contacted the International Space Station on their amateur radio station. So there's lots more to come regarding amateur radio on my channel here, and I hope you'll stay tuned, stay interested, share, like, subscribe, and all that kind of thing. Have I answered all the questions that are out there, and does anyone have any other questions? I hope I covered it all. Or, not all of it for sure, but as much as you might have questions about. But if not, don't be afraid to ask questions in the chat. I'm more than happy to answer any further questions. I'll just give that a sec because I think there's a bit of a delay here on my stream. You're good for now. Okay. Good. Fantastic. Well, thanks again to everyone who came into the live stream. This will be posted later on for viewing later on as a recorded video. And thank you all for supporting, participating, watching, and appreciate your support and your community. Homesteading the Hard Way, Geeky Gardens, and Titan, who came in before. Thank you guys for coming in and joining in the chat. If I missed anybody, I apologize. Really glad to have your support. And oh yeah, don't forget to check out Geeky Gardens. Has a channel. He does some really cool stuff. He's got a nice gardening channel and various cool turtles and other interesting creatures on his channel. And definitely don't forget to check out Homesteading the Hard Way with Chris and Darlene. Those guys really know their homesteading, and they'll tell you real truth about how to do things on a homestead, how to keep electric fences working correctly, how to raise pigs, how to slaughter pigs, what kind of feed to use, how to make your own feed. Chris is really solid on that kind of stuff. So if you haven't checked out his channel, go check it out. With that, I think I'm going to close this up, wrap it up, put the ribbons on. Thanks for watching the Pharmacy Seeds Network. Like, subscribe, and share. We'll see you in the next video. Take care, everyone. Thank you.